Hi everybody, welcome to the A Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 2, brought to you by the Precious Roy Home Shopping Network, where Precious Roy stands for quality. My name is VirtuaCat, and I am here with Reg today for this co-op all dungeon seed. Reg, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. We should have pretty solid match on our hands here because we're in week 7 of the league. Everybody's starting to think about the end game, the playoffs at this point. And the talking heads, rep by Jexreffy and matt7898, need to go 2-0 this week to have a chance at those. So they've got something to play for. The Super Salty Dungeoneers, rep by Sawneyrath and Darkrid, are not in playoff contention, but they can play spoiler by taking a game today. So, looking forward to seeing how this one goes.
Yeah, a lot of times you think about a all dungeon seed and think about it going a little bit longer than a normal seed, but these runners are participating in a co-op seed. Everybody is racing on the same seed. However, Jexreffy and Matt, and then Sawneyrath and Darkrid are going to be able to communicate with each other. You're going to see them crisscrossing paths. Sawneyrath will tell Dark where something is. Matt will tell Jexreffy where something is. They will have to complete all 10 dungeons and pick up Castle Tower in order to do any kind of damage to Ganon at the pyramid.
Yep. So we are absolutely seeing it all this seed. I don't think any individual runner is going to do anything. Well, going to do everything except all the boss kills, because like you said, co-op, they're sharing informations. We're going to see a lot of runners skip the place that their partner hit.
Yeah, and I always find the openings to these, I kind of see these races really interesting. A lot of people generally, when doing a solo seed, they just go right to Kakariko because you have 12 checks right there that are really easy to check. All you need are some bombs. But, hey, if you have an early weapon, you might go down to Mini Mortarworm. You might go ahead and do Castle Escape. There's a lot of different ways you can go here.
Yeah. We've got a bottle right off the gate in Link's house and a lamp in the sanctuary. So, looks like only one runner is immediately going up to Uncle.
Looks like Darkrid might be doing Houlihan here.
Yep. Houlihan was actually an opening play that I'm quite fond of, both in co-op and in single player, and we're seeing it on Jexreffy's side as well. So that'll get them 225 rupees. They can go buy bombs right off the bat. And really the question at this point, where are they going to take them? So they've got a couple options. You mentioned Mini Mulderm Cave if they find a weapon. Well, in my book, bombs are definitely a weapon.
Oh, look at that crab. That is a 4-bomb drop crab. Our racers will never be in danger of running out of bombs with that guy running around.
Yeah, that is super convenient and the sort of thing you love to see as a runner. Now, let's see where the Houlihan friends go. It looks like Jexreffy is not buying bombs with that money and instead taking it up to the castle. Meanwhile, Darkrid is en route to Kakariko following his partner.
While we're on our way there, I want to say a big thank you to Ricky of Kakiri and Yoinker's wife for tracking this race. These co-op races are very difficult to track, and big ups to both of them for volunteering for this very difficult position.
Yeah, for sure. We got 4 screens today, so we brought in 2 trackers. Gonna keep that as the theme throughout the week. Just try to make it as easy on those guys as possible, because they do real big work every single race. And it looked to me like Lumberjack was just money, so while we are going to have to kill Aga today, it's not going to be for that.
Ooh, back of the tavern has Mirror.
And it looked to me like Sick Kid had a sword as well, so Kakariko showing up right out the gate. But until we get either to Death Mountain or to the Dark World, that mirror is not going to do very much for us. Very nice item to have, but not immediate progression.
So Jexreffy at the Talking Heads running into Hyrule Castle, telling himself this is not his beautiful house, but it is a castle that will have about 4 or 5 items that you can check.
Well, it's gonna be somewhere between 1 and 3 immediately, depending on where the map and the small key are. And frankly, with just bombs, well, he's got a lamp, so he could go to Dark Cross. But if the small key is in the back of the sewers, then he's going to get stopped there. Also, Jexreffy friend, this isn't the GBA version. The lamp does not do damage. Doesn't look like we've seen anything of value in northern Kakariko so far either. Just a lot of money in the well. And Blind Hideout's going to be the end of those checks.
Oh, Jex, you gotta be careful, buddy.
That's unfortunate for him, because it's going to be a long walk to go back, and honestly at this point may just send his partner there with the sword, but no, he's going back in. He's going to go for that Dark Cross chest.
And in Blind's Hideout, we get our first set of gloves and a Master Sword. There's 2 swords in Kakariko. And a lamp.
Gotta kill Aga at some point. Although at the bare minimum, I don't think any of these guys are going to want to do it before the Moon Pearl.
Oh yeah. This Jex is skipping 2 chests in the back of Escape. Or the front of Escape, however you want to call that. But he does find the other glove in Dark Cross. That is a big find.
That does also confirm that the small key will be in the back of the sewers, so only going to be 2 items to find back there. But those gloves will let anybody, between the set in Kak and the set in the Dark Cross, let anybody get to them basically whenever after a save and quit.
Oh, and there's the Moon Pearl. Probably some clams or oysters down there where the floodgate was. Moon oysters.
And it's actually kind of... We're 6 minutes into the seed, and we're just now seeing like the South Shore checks on somebody's part. Which, pretty fascinating considering this is co-op and you don't really need to have both runners in Kak to start the seed.
Kate is in the back of Escape. 50 rupees from the old man. And so far, just a bunch of rupees in Mini Moldworm. Bombos is there. That's the only item of note, though.
Bombos Medallion's a good friend of mine. Definitely the best one, in addition to potentially opening up Mire or Turtle Rock, however that's randomized. Also gets you into Ice Palace, breaks Cold Stayer Shell without using up all your Fire Rod magic, and so on. Great medallion. Just a tad slow. I did not see what was inside Spectacle Rock, but it looks like Darkrid's not going to get it, so... But we have the really early Agina cave check on Sawneyrath's side, and that doesn't pay. And it looks like South Shore hasn't really paid either beyond that Moon Pearl and maybe that Bombos Medallion. Blue Mail's intriguing, but I don't see people going to Ice Rod Cave for it if they already know it's there.
Mushroom in the bottom of Hera. We got word that Fire Rod is on the desert ledge. Chat, we may be relying on you a little bit. 4 screens is a lot to keep up with.
Yeah, 4 screens in the early game where everybody's going off trying to make just as many brawl checks as possible in the shortest amount of time. So we may miss things here, and if you guys can back us up on that, we would greatly appreciate it. Looks like double vanilla pendants in the light world, which gonna have to beat them anyways, but still feels a little bad.
There's Matt getting his time smiths, the first of our 4 runners to do so.
Yep. Prioritizing that's great because that's just straight up Dark World access through the Village of Outcasts portal.
We got a progressive shield in Tower of Hera as well, and that's all of our Hera items.
Yep, that plus the shroom is 2, and this is not any sort of key sanity or dungeon item shuffle, so the normal item counts for every dungeon are in full effect here.
Hey, we've had 3 weeks of that kind of stuff, and feels good to just know 2 items in Hera, 3 in Eastern, and not have to worry about anything else.
Yeah. We do still have to kill this Moldorm, even though he's not dropping an item, though, and darkrid almost got knocked down there, but was able to recover and puts him down with 3 spins.
We're getting our look at those 2 chests that were missed in the bottom of Escape, and the bug catching net is one of them. We'll see what Zelda Cell has. I think that should have the map.
Yeah, we didn't see the map in the back or the sank, so... Now, the unfortunate part of the Master Sword is that a lot of boss-type enemies... Oh, that must have been in the first chest and we just missed it, because that's a Cane of Samaria.
Woof.
But I do want to call out the Master Sword. When you're against boss-type enemies in the Light World, which is basically Moldorm, Landmolas, Armos Knights, and that Ball and Chain Guard, Master Sword does Fighter Sword tier damage to all of them. And it's really silly. We're seeing the fake flipper play on Sawneyrath's side. Only 450 rupees. Cannot go pay Zora unless there's... Oh, not going to Hobo, though. Just taking it as a shortcut to the Eastern Palace area.
And the indomitable Jexreffy is our first racer into Dark World proper. We saw Sonny go in there to get to Hera, darkrid go in there to get to Hera, but our first real look at Dark World is going to be Jexreffy.
Yeah, gonna get these Village of Outcasts checks. The item he wants to see most right now is definitely the hammer, because that would guarantee that he can full clear Thieves Town. But if he doesn't find it in either this check or the C-shaped house, I'm kind of curious how far in he'll go. Meantime, we've got Sawneyrath en route to Eastern Palace proper. Cannot clear this without a bow, but can get everything else, and no hammer for Jexreffy.
I could feasibly see Jex doing the Dark World loop right now. Checking out, grabbing the blacksmith, or doing dig game, then grabbing blacksmith. He's got those mitts, he's got mirror. That's a lot of checks he can do in one full sweep. Fell sweep? Fell sweep.
I agree that the loop is really attractive right now, but considering this is co-op, I would be straight into Thieves Town if I were him. Like, sure, no hammer means you're leaving the big chest behind, But if there's an item in there, your partner can just wait till they have hammer go in and can make that check. And I mean, even if it's the last pendant, you have to beat it to clear the game, so... I think I missed what was in the cannonball chest of Eastern Palace. Did you happen to catch it?
I did not see what was there.
Okay, well, we have seen one item with that red rupee. And that's actually an interesting setup for that Stalfos room on Sawneyrath's part. Never seen that one before, but it worked really well for him. And the Waterfall Cave for us today has a third sword and is giving out free fairies.
That is a very nice waterfall cave. We saw bombs from the blacksmiths.
And Sawneyrath saving and quitting out of Eastern Palace after the big chest, so the implication there is 3 items plus the big key in the first 4 checks, so the quote-unquote god Eastern Palace.
And Matt giving a very good Moldworm kill there. Darkrid is going to be checking out Zora area.
Yep. Can pay him, and then we'll go from there.
Looks like the first chest was a progressive shield in ET.
Alright, so big shout outs to our trackers for being on top of that. Zora, just a partial refund today.
Not the best, not the worst.
And Jexreffy dropped his purple chest when mirroring to and from K45. That's unfortunate. He's got to backtrack for that. And also, just since chat's asking about it, to clarify, timing for this race, each team's time is the average of the 2 runners' times. It's not the slower of the times, it's not the faster of the times, it is the average. So if one runner finishes in an hour and the other one somehow takes 2, you've got a 90-minute time for your team. That mushroom turn-in on Matt's side is absolutely nothing, so he's taking the hard reset, can preserve that for fake powder later. Actually, we've got both of the Super Salty Dungeoneers runners in the castle at the same time. Both got their mitts. And Darkrid's actually mirroring out after that. He's going to have to backtrack later for the cane once Sawneyrath finds it and tells him about it.
And I think Jex is going to give us our first look at Hype Cave.
Makes perfect sense at this point. 5 items in there. We're actually running a little low on potential progression spots too at this point. Like, I'm trying to think of what's in Logic and that we have not seen besides Hype Cave. And I'm not really thinking of anything besides Thieves Town, which Matt's entering now.
Hype Cave has for us 10 arrows. And 4 more chests back here. We got a compass in Thieves Town, 20 rupees in Hype, 3 bombs, 10 arrows, and 1 arrow. So nothing in Hype Cave. One of the worst we've ever seen. Thieves Town seems to be what we need to do. Oh, there's a bow.
Thieves Town, absolutely the play at this point. Although it's worth noting that bow does not progress us right now. You might say, but what about Palace of Darkness? We don't have logical access to Palace of Darkness. Need a flippers or a hammer or an Aghanim kill to get over there. Which I guess we do have all the gear we need for an Aghanim kill. But that bow not looking like it yet, so I'm thinking more in Thieves Town.
Oh, we've got a compass, a big key, and a map so far out of Thieves Town. All three dungeon items in the very front. Speaking of Aga, Sawny is going to go ahead and doing it.
I'm not terribly fond of this decision at this point in the seed. Although we've got the map check, we saw the 5-6 crystals. I believe those were Thieves Town and Mire, and was the pendant Ice Palace there? Or did I not see that?
I am not terribly too sure there. Jex is giving us a look at Skull Woods.
Okay, yeah. Skull Woods is another place we haven't seen on either runner's side at this point. And that's 2 potential items. Could be as few as 0, depending on how everything lays out, though. Not very likely, but possible, that both items in Skull Woods are behind the fire rod.
Oh, and Jex hasn't gone to get that Samaria yet.
Good news is that he has to know about it just because his teammate does, and they're talking to each other, but yeah, no Samaria means you've got to pull the statue around here, which, not quite fun.
10 arrows at the top of Thieves Town. Oh, and here's the flute.
Okay, that's potentially a full clearable Misery Mire, if Bombos will get us into it. And we've got a bit more of an extended map check. 5-6 pod, or 5-6 Thieves Town Mire, green pendant pod.
So yeah, this is Bombos Mire, then that was Waterfall Fairy, or not Waterfall, Pyramid Fairy.
Well, it puts Pyramid Fairy in logic if we find the small key in the next chest. Otherwise, it's behind the hammer. And we need something to actually get through the front door of Mire, be that the boots or the hookshot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and there's a small key.
Yeah, that's super unfortunate, but it does mean that nothing in Thieves Town besides that big chest is actually blocked by the hammer. So we could have something silly like hammer on the bow side of pod, and then come back to Thieves Town for your last item.
Which is probably like Ice Rod.
Yeah, it's probably going to be something dumb. In an ideal world, honestly, it's probably something like half magic. Not required, but something tempting enough that makes you at least want to go back for it, even if you never will. Clean blind kill on Matt's side.
That was both items out of Skull Woods as well. Betting Matt goes directly up there to get his flute.
Yep, because that's a real quick walk, and then he can just walk back and with the mirror and activate it right away as well. Looks like Jexreffy into Thieves Town. I'm not sure if I would expect him to stop after the first, or after the bow specifically, or if he's going to clear it as well and just gamble on big chest being nothing. And on Sawneyrath's side, we're into an Aghanim fight. I have not been counting blue balls, but I also haven't seen any yet, besides that one.
It's been more than a couple.
Alright. And yeah, Jexreffy got his bow, just death warping straight out now.
Oh, good point from the chat is that desert ledge, which Fire Rod is on, is accessible now with that flute.
Yeah, and it's a crystal, but we've seen both items in the front, so it's sort of, you just do that at your convenience and no sooner, really.
Sawneyrath mirrored back to the light world and saved and quit.
Not sure what they're looking for here. Has that team seen the back? Yeah, they have the cape, so they've seen the back of the skate. I'm pretty sure they've seen Lumberjack as well, and even if they don't, there's no boots. Oh, I know what's going on. Darkrid has the bow information, and then
Oh, yeah.
Sawneyrath made a snap judgment to save and quit and get that before Palace of Darkness. And Jexreffy going for the out-of-the-way Graveyard Ledge play here. Solid play in co-op because only one runner has to make it unless it's required, so having that information really helps you get around. And if he's savvy enough about it, he can actually use that bow for splash delete fake flippers, go over to Catfish Pyramid and pod.
It's just a splash elite. It's just one of those like brute force gimmick glitches that you can pull off. Just put as much stuff on the screen as possible, and then jump in the water.
Yep, game cannot handle that, so it just lets you swim. But that is not the choice that he's making here. He's headed back to the village area. And Matt buying a blue potion. I wonder if Misery Mire's on the brain. Like I'm still thinking that's gonna be... Yeah, it is. He's checking the ledge and seeing that fire rod, and he's gonna flute right back to 6 so that he knows to grab it.
That's going to give him at least a few checks into desert. No, that's going to be a full clearable desert.
Full clearable as long as the big key is not on or behind the torch.
Right.
I did not see that Mire medallion. The shed is just a bottle and trash. That bottle doesn't even have anything good in it. Looks like, well, no hammer, Jexreffy has to choose Eastern Palace over Pod here with the way he's done it. They still do not have logical access to the Eastern Dark World besides that Aghanim kill, even if they can do it with a fake flippers type trick. And chat's saying that Misery Mire is Bombo, so that's fully clearable. Desert is not, though. And Super Salty Dungeoneer's Darkrid picking up his first Crystal of the Seed and tying the dungeon count, both with Matt directly and overall between the two teams. But haven't seen anything with Node in Desert Palace, I don't think, so...
Now I'm gonna go check out Checkerboard Cave. Check a look at that.
Yep. If this is the boots, then we'll be seeing Matt pick up 2 dungeons in very short succession, I have to imagine. But that would be probably too convenient to be real.
Just another bottle with the bee. Say I'm the only bee in your bottle. No, we've had multiple bees in bottles this round.
Yeah, the one in Mire Shed was also a bee. So I guess with all that out of the way, where is the play? Is it Palace of Darkness after all?
I think it might be. I think you need to kill Aga.
Yeah, I would have really liked to have seen Jexreffy go for the Splash Delete there and over by the Dark Graveyard just to you have to kill Aga at some point, but just skip the requirement for now and do it later. Because the ideal time to kill Aga in an all dungeon seed is literally as late as possible.
See, we have Supersonic Dungeoneers now has knowledge of the flute, and then we see Sawneyrath go up there pretty soon.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate on his end that he went all the way down to Hype Cave before getting that, but it's a quick save and quit and walk right back over to the portal. Now we've got Matt headed over towards the east side of the Dark World. No, it's not Graveyard Ledge he wants. With those bombs equipped, I've got to imagine he's going for a kern jump across the river here. Gonna let the bomb knock him into the screen transition in midair so that he can get a fake flipper state. Just like that.
That's always one of the more impressive clips to see. Not a clip, but you know.
Absolutely, yeah. Because that's not trivial to pull off in the slightest. And I mentioned Splash Deletion earlier just because it's frankly a lot easier. You fire the arrows, you place the bombs, you jump. And there's a bit of timing to it, but it's not nearly as precise as the kern jump is. But Jexreffy got his trash out of Eastern Palace and went and killed some Armos Knights.
And we're going noodling up here with matt7898, and he pulls out a piece of heart.
Next stop for him is going to be the slightly long walk down to the Pyramid of Power, and then to Palace of Darkness from there. Meanwhile, Jexreffy en route to his Fire Rod. And darkrid paying the storyteller, getting a few text boxes and a heart refill. I actually learned today that those guys refill your hearts. Oh, I see what Jexreffy's doing. He grabbed that Fire Rod even though there was nothing else in the region and he didn't have an apparent immediate need for it. I think he's going to fake flipper right into Ice Palace after this mini Moldworm Cave.
Boy!
Boy, there's the boots.
Oh, Sawneyrath was steps away. And those boots are made for running, and they're going to run right down to Pod.
Yeah, Pod is probably still the play here. Although, frankly, if I were running this, I'd be like, friend, I'm off to Mire, you can go to Pod.
Now,
and
they still don't have logical access to that side. So I fully understand Matt going over this way.
And it is worth noting that Sawneyrath killed Aghanim, did not check the Pyramid Ledge.
He did an immediate saving quit after killing Aga to go get the bow in Thieves Town.
And we did see another very impressive kern jump on Darkrid's side. So everybody getting in on that action today. Also, yeah, chat's talking about it, but at this point, we're 100% on the Aga was logically required. Like, there's no more getting around that at this point. You had to kill Aghanim to logically get to East Dark World to get the progression there. Whether it's the boots for Desert Mire, whether the flippers, the hammer, or both are here in Palace of Darkness.
Oh, no. Darkrid also saved and quit after Catfish and did not go down to Pyramid.
I don't understand that play. Are there locations in that part of the world, or outside of that part of the world, that team hasn't seen yet?
Powder in pod.
Big key too. So, right side of pod doing a little bit of work.
Potter.
Not a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's going to be interesting is if the progression is on the Magic Bat here. Because we've had fake powder access, Mitts, Moon Pearl, Mirror, Mushroom Cane. That combination gets you into the Magic Bat. We've had that for a little while now. But so far, we've seen nothing of real note in pod besides that powder. And looks like Matt's going to get his, or no, not Matt, Jexreffy's going to go get his Cane of Samaria. Probably going to be an Agakill right after that. I mean, at this point, it makes a ton of sense, even though I said earlier that you want to do Aga as late as possible. Because he has to do it at some point. It'll dump him right out on the pyramid for his boots. And Matt has the spare small key, has the big key, is hammer jumping beautifully right there.
That was really well done.
Yeah, that was only one buffer, right?
Oof. Woof. Silver's in the dark maze.
Fun fact, those silver arrows are not technically bow locked because there were no small keys on the bow side of pod.
Sawneyrath is about to be probably not very happy seeing those boots right there.
Yeah, I can't imagine that, because he could have had those minutes ago. Like, immediately after killing Aghanim minutes ago.
I'm going to take a check at Bonkrox and Kingston here.
Yeah, Bonkrox, King's Tomb, and then I have to imagine it's back to the Desert Mire area, because boots give full access. Maybe not.
There's Bonkrox right there. That is a hook shot.
That's full access to Death Mountain now, too. So, Talking Heads suddenly got all the options in the world open to them, except Swamp Palace. They can at least get through the door of every other dungeon if Turtle Rock is Bombos.
That's exactly where Matt is going, is up to the Dark World, or Death Mountain.
Ton of checks up here. He's already done Hera, so don't care about that side of the light world, but still something like, what, 14 items, 15 items before you even get into Turtle Rock, potentially?
Got it. I mean, there's 7 just in Paradox Cave alone.
Yep. And then Spiral Cave makes 8 in the light world. And then Hookshot Cave, Super Bunny Cave are 6 total, plus the floating island. Add it all up and it's 15. That's a lot of items.
Matt is also showing us a very, oh, there's Ice Rod. So, I mean, if that's Bombos, that is a completable T-Rock.
You absolutely love to see that instead of having to go off on hunts. And actually, on Talking Head side, with that Ice Rod pull, Flippers plus Hammer equals Go mode. Well, assuming Turtle Rock is not Quake.
And there's Hammer. So Hammer and Ether in the top bottom of Paradox Cave.
So yeah, Talking Heads strictly on a Flipper hunt at this point until we see TR turn up Quake. Like, that's it. That's all they need. They get that and they're in go mode and they'll just rush everything else. Actually, we haven't been focusing on it because of all the items on Death Mountain. We've got both Darkrid and Jexreffy up near the top of Aghanim's Tower. I believe Jexreffy is 2 rooms ahead.
So, and what is very good news for Talking Heads is that Swamp Palace is a crystal. Those flippers. Swamp Palace and Ice Palace are both crystals, so only one of them needed to be a crystal for those flippers to not be in GT.
Yep. And we do see Turtle Rock came up Quake, so 2 items we're hunting for on Talking Heads side now. But you do raise a good point. All dungeons, you could theoretically have pendant progression in Ganon's Tower. Something like an Ice Rod, a Mirror, Flippers, an Access Medallion from Myra Turtle Rock, but we're not seeing any of that this seed. I think it's just Spiral Cave left on the mountain for Matt. He's choosing to pick up a bomb, and Matt lets him walk through his Dark World portal without triggering it. His alternative was to bonk the Rocks Get Fairy.
Good timing on the jellyfish guys. Baris.
Yeah, they tend to interfere a lot in Spiral Cave. It's a bit silly.
They're one of the few enemies that are in both the Dark World and the Light World.
Jexreffy has got his boots and his Aga kill. Matt is headed straight into the Mire Desert area. I believe Darkrid's just 1 or 2 hits away from having his own Aga kill and then his boots. Yep, there it is. So I'm trying to think, what items do the Dungeoneers not know about and that are not on the mountain? I guess it's really just that Hookshot and Bonk Rocks plus the same 2 that Talking Heads don't know about because everything else is on the mountain for them.
We've only got 2 items in Misery Mire that we can grab. Mire tends to be a hotspot for some of those like late game items though. You see those turn up a lot in Misery Mire, one of those like last location type thing.
Yes. Although my favorite item to find in Mire is the hammer. That's always a fun one.
I just want to say how cleanly Matt pulled off that front room or second room of Mire. Always cool to see that done really quickly.
Yep. Optimal strats with the sword beams and the fire rod there to clear it out in just 1 cycle. Very well done.
Oh, and there's the big key on the bridge. You'll love to see it.
I bet Jexreffy is the one that's happiest with that right now because it means that unless there's actual items in here he has to grab, which Matt will be telling him about, he can just grab and go. It looks like Matt's actually just grab and go too, but I'm sure he'll be back in to grab those items.
I mean, I think it's the right play. I mean, if Vitreous has an item, then you only need to find 1 item when you go back in. As opposed to searching everything and then realizing, oh, Vitreous has the last item.
Yeah, I can see it. The flip side to that is you have to do those first couple rooms again, but they're not too long.
So once again, this is week 7 of the ALTTPR League Season 2. We got Jexreffy and matt7898 talking heads facing Sawneyrath and darkrid of the Super Salty Dungeoneers. This is a co-op seed. It's just shared information. Both of our racers on each team are going to be racing the same seed. We are taking the average of their times. We're going to be seeing Matt face Vitreous and darkrid face Mothula pretty much right at the same time here.
Yeah, these silver arrows mean that Matt should have the much faster fight of it. Although a perfectly executed Tempered Sword Moth is nothing to sneeze at time-wise.
Vitreous goes down like a sack of tomatoes. And Mothula is giving darkrid a little bit of trouble here. He's got 4 hearts left, and those spike traps will do 1 damage each. And he does have green mail, so you do not want to touch that moth. Oh!
Yeah! The big thing about that fight, darkrid was using the fire rod until he ran out of magic. Tempered Sword does twice as much damage to the moth, though. Strongly recommend that if you have it.
Right back into Mire for Matt. Those sword beams really helping out in this front room. Beamos, one of the most dangerous enemies in the game. Always tend to pretty much know exactly where you are, and those beams are hard to dodge once they're kind of got their lock on.
Yeah. There's a reason that they're one of the primary enemies you see in the Ganon's Tower Gauntlet at the end of the game.
Oh, an earthquake.
Yep, that's one of the 2 items we still need. Sorry.
I did not mean to cut you off there. But one thing that I'm finding really interesting about this so far is it's not that like we're only 1 item away from go mode. We're 1 item away from Matt being in go mode.
Yeah. He's had Jexreffy cluing him in on a few of the things there, but I'm trying to think of how many things that Jexreffy's side of the route actually paid off with. I'm not actually really thinking of any, although I'm sure there are, and it's just been like 50 minutes and I'm misremembering.
And anybody want to go get some coffee? We're going to need to do the coffee break room over here. Or the Mire coffee break room, that is.
Yeah. This one's not really as bad as the Hera one. Or the Ganon's Tower one. But, yeah, you gotta sit through this just to get an item. But we do have Sawneyrath getting that Quake right now. I don't think they know they need that, because darkrid just got that hook shot and has not been to the mountain with it yet. That's still going to be good news for them once they see that that opens Turtle Rock.
Yeah, Mire's one of those dungeons that's always really fun to see how people route that, because the chests are basically in completely different areas of the dungeon, and you kind of choose to go at them in any order that you want. You'll see some people do left, right, left. Some people do full left and full right. It's a fun dungeon to watch how people complete it. But Matt is going to go and complete Desert while he's at it here too.
Yep. As far as I recall, we did not see any items in Desert Palace. They're both locked by that big key. Although I do want to say, if you're talking about Mire routing, I think Mire might be the one dungeon in the game that is made unconditionally better by key sanity.
Yeah.
Because you can just get a small key before you walk in, and you can do the left side without having to check the bridge or the spike chest for a pot key first. Oh,
Just
and I guess
map.
we did see an item earlier, but it was junk to the point where I forgot what it was.
gonna say chain chomp room for flippers.
I think chat would prefer to see laser bridge, but that sounds pretty good to me. Let's see. Matt's actually going to have to sit through just yet another moving wall cutscene here. At least this one he can actually see, so it feels a little faster, but it feels bad. And Jexreffy was setting up a hammer jump for his silver arrows, but could not find the pixel before the bridge fell in on him.
Oh my gosh, Matt. Give us a chance to see Landmo.
Landmos are overrated. Yeah, that was really clean kill on Matt's part. Now here's the fun thing. Chat's saying blind ped for flippers.
We've already killed blind.
Yeah, but I just want to point out, Matt's already got 2 pendants, has not done the Eastern Pod combo yet. So if that were what it would be, although is this just going to be a fake flipper go mode ice for Matt? Just get that out of the way and cleaned up?
Makes sense. Oh man, we might see Icebreaker here. Oh no.
No, it's... Oh, he's getting his tempered sword out of this waterfall cave. And then I think
that is a very nice item to have before you can fight Cold Stare.
Yeah, and I think it'll probably be Go Mode Ice Palace and then Turtle Rock afterwards. Or no, skip an Ice Palace for now. I don't think he would lose any time, but I guess if he were to do it now instead of going to Turtle Rock and checking for flippers up there, I think it probably would lose Jexreffy time, which is important in this mode. Basically, if we can learn, while Matt does Turtle Rock, we'll learn whether Jexreffy needs to come up to the mountain again. And on the Dungeoneer side, we've got Sawneyrath following Matt's route, basically, a little bit behind on it, but into Desert Palace, almost to the Lamolas, and it's looking like the Eastern Pod combo for Darkrid, which Darkrid knows that Eastern Palace is full of junk. And actually, he knows that the silver arrows are the only real thing of note in Palace of Darkness, so just going to be 2 boss kills for him and probably a green pendant turn in. Meanwhile, Jexreffy down to 1.5 hearts. I think he's got a fairy, but you don't want to burn that if you don't have to. And Sawneyrath just barely denied the 1 cycle there on Landmola's. Puts it down cleanly, though.
Jax might go turn in that green pendant now, too.
Absolutely should, I think. Just, especially with it being close to Sahasrara already, just mirror run over there, and if it's flippers, you're in go mode.
Big key and 10 arrows on Roller Room, and then Sahasrara There's no M in that. It's going to give us bombs. They were blue, I believe.
Close, but no boom. So yeah, at this point, I think it's just all eyes on Matt just to see if the flippers are in here. Because if they're not, then we've just got the miscellaneous odds and ends checks left. Stuff like the pedestal, stuff like the pyramid fairy. I think there's a couple others, but they're not immediately coming to mind.
Chain chomp room. God, just small key. Oh, it had to be. That's disappointing. I messed it all up.
If you're looking for flippers at this point, you're looking at either lava chest or laser bridge. Like, I guess it's not impossible for them to be in the big chest or the crystal roller chest, but at least one of those has to be a small key, so the odds aren't really in favor.
We got Mimic Cave as well.
Oh, true. And that can't be a dungeon item, so that's decent odd.
Hammer pegs, which I don't think we've seen. Just another bottle.
At least this one didn't come preloaded with a B. And we're getting that miscellaneous magic bat check from Jexreffy as well. If this turns out flippers, it's going to be just a few seconds too late for Matt, as Matt won't be able to save any more time in Turtle Rock with checks, because he already checked the one skippable go mode check.
Nope, 10 arrows.
Gotta wonder what the plan is for the talking heads at this point, because Matt's got so many dungeons done that Jexreffy hasn't, but they are still hunting an item. And I'm wondering if they'd rather have Jexreffy catch up on the dungeons while Matt hunts the items.
Oh, I know where Jex is going.
Oh, baby. Backtracking for this one. I think that's as clear of an indication of the talking heads plan as it gets. Although, actually, Jex hasn't touched this dungeon at all besides that bow in the second chest, so he's still got a little thing.
Mimic Cave, it's just 20 rupees.
So our choices for flippers are narrowing down at this point. No, just recap for chat. The Thief Sound clears that you've got lit up on the trackers there were done without the hammer. And there is an item in the big chest.
I've seen many a daily race come down to going back into Thieves Town for this big chest. Let's see if the League Season 2 race here, and it's the same way. Oh, roller room chest, just another key.
It did have to be, otherwise Matt wouldn't have been able to progress, so I think we've seen a map so far.
We've definitely seen a map. We got another small key on Laser Bridge, as well as a compass, most likely.
Yep. 5 checks left, 3 of them gotta be items. And Jexreffy getting a lot of mileage out of that powder.
Oh, 20 rupees. Small key. The book. And a compass.
Okay, book's actually not a bad find here.
It's not. That's that was an ether, which is up here.
Yeah, just mirror straight to ether after you're done with the dungeon, and then you can go check Ted so that your partner doesn't have to.
I like that crystal switch set up by Matt, but he is going into Trinex with 5.5 hearts. He can do it. He has shown that he is really good with bosses in this game, but Trinex still hits like a Mack truck.
Yeah, but blue mail, tempered sword, half magic. He's got a potion in stock too. Dude's fine. This is one of the more comfortable fights in the game. Darkrid has finished out the Eastern Pod combo. I missed the Dark Maze. I don't know if Darkrid actually checked that and got the silvers or made the decision to skip. But unless it's behind that book, it is not Turtle Rock. So I think we're going to see Matt make those book checks as soon as possible here.
Oh, time and mystery at hand. Just some bombs in that big chest.
Yeah.
Already seeing Spike Cave.
Yep, it has to be Ether for Matt at this point. And honestly, on Jexreffy's side, that's not even... Like, it's not a great pull because you would rather it be the Go Mode item. But you have to clear the dungeon anyways, and you had to go pick up the Maiden, so it's not even out of the way.
Oh, 20 rupees.
Okay, I'm really expecting to see Bombo's tablet next for Matt, just so that he knows whether Jexreffy has to go up to Turtle Rock or can save it for last.
It could feasibly be on Pyramid Fairy, too.
Yeah, and that would probably be the grab afterwards for Matt. But at this point, I think the highest priority for that team is determining whether that book on Laser Bridge is required. And chat saying Ped, gotta remember that even if it's Ped, you don't have to have the book to pull Ped, so Jexreffy could do that without going up to Turtle Rock.
And the Bombo's tablet is being read, and it gives us a single rupee.
Bombo's medallion is a good friend of mine, but Wake is just a big bait. And we've got Jexreffy playing the arrow game here. Trying to think what he needs money for. We've already seen Zora, so he's got enough for everything else. Like, if he's just stalling for time here, I don't know why he's not in Misery Mire or Desert Palace.
I mean, he jumped out after 500, so I don't think they've checked Zora.
Interesting. I would have sworn that both sides did. But if that's the plan from them, then that actually makes total sense, because the arrow game, if you're good at it, is the fastest way to make money. And yeah, with Jexreffy setting up the fake flipper here, this is absolutely a Zora check.
Alright, let's see what Pyramid Fairy has for us today. 20 rupees and flippers.
Okay, Talking Heads collectively and matt7898 individually are in Go Mode.
Jex immediately goes out, and he's going to go take out Desert and Mire together.
Yep, Mire is the other 5/6, so that does have to be done before he can get those flippers. Also, just as a friendly reminder for chat, vanilla items are always logically possible. Zora gives the flippers in vanilla, therefore it's logically possible you can just use the glove to walk up. I believe there is one case of a vanilla small key that Randomizer does not logically allow, but my knowledge may be slightly outdated there, so I'm not going to... I don't think it is, but it may be, so I'm just not going to say more on that topic. Okay, yeah, chat's backing me up. There cannot be a small key in the Dark Maze of Palace of Darkness, even though there is... that key is in vanilla. And the reason for that, just like all the other key logic in the game, is if you used your keys in a silly way, it would be very possible to keylock yourself.
And Pod and Skullwoods are basically the two dungeons where that is super easy to do.
So, we had dueling boss fights on the Dungeoneer side with Trinex and Vitreous, but Silver Arrows makes Vitreous. So actually, those are just regular arrows on Darkrid's side, but even still, those Tempered Swords damage boost spins he was using much faster fight than Trinex.
Oh, it's diver down time.
Diver down is a great trick, although to be honest, the one in the back of Swamp that we saw there from Matt, all it does is save a few seconds from not having to unflood that room. But you can use Diver down on the left side of Swamp if you're still item hunting to avoid having to do any backtracking around there. It makes Swamp Palace a lot less bad.
Now, don't take that for meaning that it's not bad. It's still bad, but it's less.
It's still bad. It's just a lot less bad. And similarly, Icebreaker makes Ice Palace something other than like one check, then a lot of downtime, and then a few more checks. It makes it all checks all the time. So the recently allowed glitches in this game make both water dungeons not nearly as bad.
Icebreaker is a fantastic glitch to learn, and there are some great YouTube videos out there to show you exactly how to do it. Definitely recommend checking those out.
And we did see a very easy silver arrow right into the side of Argus to kill him on Matt's side, continuing the trend of fantastic boss fights on his end. And now he's just got go mode Ice Palace, cleaning up Eastern Pod, and cleaning up the Moth. And then he'll be on to Ganon's Tower, and gonna have to do Aghanim after Ganon's Tower. And Darkrid with a very nice fire rod shot on the land mole that was trying to short hop him. That was well done. Short hop land moles are one of the worst things. And just to recap for chat a bit, yes, Matt has not done Aga yet, but everybody else has because Aga was the logical requirement for East Dark World access. And Matt just jumped it.
So we currently have on the Talking Headset Matt with 6 dungeons done out of the 11 that need to be done. We have Jexreffy with 5 done out of this 11. Sawneyrath is at 4, and Darkrid is also at 6.
Add 1 to each of Sawneyrath and Darkrid because they've both done Aghanim.
Oh, they have both done Aga, yeah. So Darkrid is at 7. Wow.
Yeah, like from a pure dungeon count, the Dungeoneers are not behind at all this seed. Like they're just counting raw numbers. They are actually 1 dungeon up. The problem is they are not yet in go mode, although Darkrid is not far from finding the flippers.
We did see Icebreaker done over on Matt's side. Darkrid showing off why it's important to have Aga done early if you want to lessen the time with this bomb. A really quick bomb drop off when you have the Aga portal open.
That's just one of those real conveniences that this game offers you, because the alternative is to just walk it across the bridge and hammer those pegs, but that's slow because you can't run to the bomb. Or I guess you can, but it's tricky and you risk leaving it behind if your timing's not right.
If you want to see how fast Matt is wanting to get through this dungeon, there are some free chests, like not even like, hey, I'm going slightly to the other side of a room to pick this up. It is stuff that he was passing by directly, that he is passing by. He is ready to be done with this seed.
Yep, he is hard go mode. He does not need a single extra thing to win this game. And he has got that spin, cold stairs in the corner, and he is not getting out of it. Incredible.
I think Cold Stare might be the boss in the game that is the one that's like the biggest gulf in like how easy it looks when some people do it versus how difficult that boss actually is.
Yeah, and probably the biggest difference between difficulty if you use the speedrun strat and difficulty if you play it casually and don't know about the corner spin. Because if that fight goes off the rails, it goes real hard, and I've seen top class runners die to it when that happens.
I mean, even there's a reason why they give you blue mail as the dungeon item in that dungeon. Cold Stare hits for I think 6 hearts on green mail. It's rough.
Yeah, 6 hearts sounds accurate. But yeah, at this point, we aren't even an hour and 15 minutes in, and we've got go mode on both sides. Jexreffy going to complete his item collection as soon as he blows up this bomb and grabs his flippers. Matt already has all his items. Actually, Darkrid is missing that Cane of Samaria out of the castle, it looks like. Did he not get that? Yeah, he has that. It's just tracker eats input sometimes. I'm very familiar with that, and it's unfortunate. So Darkrid has a complete item collection as well. And Sawneyrath just needs to get to that Pyramid Fairy, which he knows about for those flippers.
Now again, this is not going to be the first team to have both racers finish. This is going to be the average of each racer on each team, meaning we could have a team finish first and fourth and still win. It all depends on how big that gap is. Now obviously if 2 racers on a team finish first and second, they win. There's no question on that. But yeah, this is a fun mode, and there's a reason why this is the last week. This is difficult.
Yeah. And this race is shaping up to be, I think, a lot tighter than it was looking earlier on, when it looked like Matt in particular was just running away with the seed. But at this point, well, he's still got the Aga Tower to do, and actually Aga Tower I think is probably slower than Go Mode Ice Swamp. Like, I think it definitely is, because even with good weapons that climbs like 4 to 5 minutes. But there's still some game to play here, and Darkrid and Sawneyrath are making their way through the dungeons as well and just keeping up. But Matt is killing Helmasaur here. That's going to be his third pendant. Just got to mirror to Eastern and go kill a moth so that he can get to Ganon's Tower.
I think Matt still needs to do Skull Woods as well.
Yep, just got to run to the back and kill the moth there. Doesn't have to make any checks or anything. And then on Jexreffy's side, he's in his Swamp Palace that he's got to go mode. He's got to do go mode Ice, which with Icebreaker is quite fast. He's got to go back, kill the moth himself, and then the Turtle Rock is a little bit slow even in go mode because you've got to pull all those keys. But that's right there on the mountain, and Hera right there as well. He'll mirror into GT from there. And similarly, Darkrid gonna have to do Turtle Rock after that go mode Ice and clearing off Eastern. Actually grabbing Blue Mail right here. And Sawneyrath is polishing off the moth as soon as he drops into it. Then he's just got to finish Pod Swamp Ice and get up to GT himself. So, yeah, none of these runners have very much to do at this point.
Moth playing very nice for Sonny right there.
Yeah, much nicer than it was for Darkrid earlier. And that just goes to show how big of a boon the Tempered Sword is in that fight, because you can have some literal blink and miss at moth fights with that sword. Similarly, blink and miss at Silver Arrow are most kills.
I mean, that's most Silver Arrow kills in on bosses at this point. Vitreous goes down real fast. Armos goes down. Landmo goes down. There's only a few bosses that you really can't kill with silvers once they're reachable, I should say. Helma takes one shot from silvers after you break the mask. Argus takes one shot after you get the little pustules. Is that the word?
I believe they're literally just called Argai.
I mean, I name my boils too, but I think they're literally. I think they are not officially, but like biologically. I don't know. I'm just making a weird, dumb joke.
They're stupid, is what they are. But Jex has got his Argus kill down, and Sawneyrath going to grab those flippers. That will put all four runners here in full item go mode. Well, I say that. They've been in go mode ever since they knew about it, because they haven't needed to make extra checks, but they'll have the completed item collection. And Darkrid didn't call it out at the time, but Icebreaker, very nice. And hey, that gold sword that I don't think... Yeah, Matt didn't grab it. I doubt Jexreffy will grab it. Doesn't really save any time anywhere that's left, though, aside from making Argus and Ganon more consistent.
Was that Spike Room in?
Yes. Yeah. Actually, I guess Darkrid does still have the one boss fight where Gold Sword can hypothetically save time in Trinex. If you can execute the Zero Cycle strat, which is not trivial at all, you do save time there. But Matt has killed his moth. That is 7 crystals, that is 3 pendants. He's just got to go to Ganon's Tower, clear that out, and then mirror and clear the castle tower. Then he is on to Ganon. And yeah, darkrid was not able to spin Cold Stare into the corner there, but you still see how quickly those first 2+ went down.
We also saw how much that one Cold Stare hit took off of him with Blue Mail.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he'd be sitting on half a heart right now if he didn't go grab that mail before the dungeon.
That's one of the interesting things about like this week and last week in particular. Last week we had spoiler pilot. This week we have co-op. Both lead to more low percentage options being there. And like, hey, do you go and try to kill Mothula at 5 heart screen mail, or do you go to Thieves Town first, where you might find like some extra heart pieces there? Oh, Darkrid,
Darkrid's got to still go clear Eastern Palace, doesn't he?
I thought he cleared it.
Maybe the tracker rated, it's just not lit up. He'll menu in a sec and we'll be able to see his crystal count. No. Oh, wait, no, he has 6, and that last one's Turtle Rock. So yeah, Darkrid's good. And Jexreffy about to drop into his Cold Stare fight. Sawneyrath flooding rooms in Swamp Palace.
Oh, hey, chat. Where's the big key? 1 through 21.
Oh, yes, that's a thing that... It's been a while. We completely forgot about that, but...
I'm going to say 6.
It's always 10. But unfortunately, we have no bot here, because by the time we started it, Matt would be entering the tower. So...
Oh, not even doing Hope Room first. Oh. Number 1 is Red Mail. That is fortuitous.
He's bonking it and not grabbing it. Okay.
So chest number 1 was a half-gotten Red Mail. 300 rupees for 2, small key for 3, 20 rupees for 4, and 50 rupees for 5. Dark Magicianing.
Yeah, if you skip Hope Room, this is absolutely the strat you're committing to. You'll just get whatever keys are in the Stalfos room, and it does tend to be loaded with keys.
Small key
and then
for
you'll
6. Small key for 7. Hope Room was loaded today.
Yeah. Hardly ever see 2 small key Hope Room, it feels like, but I think we've actually seen all the small keys now, right?
I think so, yeah.
So, yeah, Matt's just a couple rooms away from the compass chest here. Actually, just 1 room. This is it.
Chest number 8 is 20 rupees. Chest number 9, a compass. Chest number 10, small key. Chest number 11, big key.
All right. Matt's going to be off to the races, and he's going to be telling his partner that DM is not the strat with those 2 keys in Hope Room.
Congratulations to LKETV. Guessing number 11.
Yep. Big shout outs to people with enough foresight to see where that key is going to be. And then on everybody else's side, Jexreffy is headed into the back of Skull Woods for his last non-DM dungeon. Sawneyrath on his way to Palace of Darkness. Gotta kill a Helmasaur King there and gotta do his Go Mode Swamp. And then Darkrid is in his last non-GT dungeon. He doesn't even have to go kill Aga afterwards. So ultimately at this point, you're thinking Go Mode Ice Palace plus a DM climb versus Turtle Rock Hera. You're looking at Sawneyrath and Jexreffy is going to be what really decides this race. And if you're rooting for the Dungeoneers to play spoiler here, you need Sawneyrath to win by as much as Matt comes out ahead of Darkrid. And of course, that does assume that Matt's going to come out ahead of darkrid, which there's still a lot of game to play and a lot of room for Matt to lose time or darkrid to make it back up.
He's at 5 hearts. He's got a blue potion, though. And silvers. God, that's such a satisfying room.
Yeah, that one's good, and then the one after, in my opinion, is the one he's coming up in now, even better, just because there is a bigger degree of difficulty to it with that sword slash.
Both of those rooms are up there with like the Ice Palace Delphos room, as those aren't necessarily even moderately difficult to pull off, but they look so cool. I think this next room is one of them too, especially if you bonk across the gap.
Yeah, bonk strats in this room are really cool. I never have the guts to actually go for them. And then, at this point, something else of interest. Matt does have to kill Aga as he puts Smolderem 2 down. He's got to kill Aghanim twice. Will he remember to do so and mirror into that himself? Or will he drop into the Ganon hole and let Ganon give him a very friendly reminder? As darkrid getting turned around in the rail room.
See how these this Aga fight goes. This is a nice setup. That might have been a triple.
Yeah, not sure about that, but he's on either 3 or 4, depending on whether that counted. It counted.
Oh, wow.
Very well played by Matt, getting that 3 cycle there with 2 blue balls.
That was the best he could have done.
Impossible to get that set up in 2 phases, so 3 is the absolute best.
Oh, he remembered.
Okay, so Matt is not a dingus today. But he's still got to spend a few minutes climbing this tower before he can win the game. And darkrid's got 2 heads down on Trinex. Gotta wait for that shell to explode. Now the big thing to pay attention here. Does Sawneyrath know Icebreaker? I would imagine he does from what he's shown so far. But not every runner does. It is still fairly new tech. If he does, will he remember to hit this crystal switch first, which will save him a big key hunt? And how clean is it? And it looks like no Icebreaker for Sawneyrath. That's fine. Icebreaker is faster than the bomb jump, but the bomb jump, as everybody knows, not exactly slow.
Matt taking a few hits here in Castle Tower, but he will get a full refill when this is done.
Yeah, if you want to start counting frames and seconds here, then more hits taken equals slower refill, but I don't think Matt's too concerned about that at this point. And Sawneyrath is across the bomb jump. So just gotta clean out the rest of Ice Palace here and get that cold stare kill. Does mean he won't be grabbing that gold sword unless he goes way out of the way.
Darkrid is picking up the red mill, but
he also did Hope Room first. Yeah. So unfortunately, Darkrid gonna lose a significant amount of time to Matt full clearing the basement here.
Now if he does Sawneyrath Magician,
that still skips Hope Room first, doesn't it?
No.
Am I misremembering? It's been a long time, I guess.
He's skipping it.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. Because, yeah, that is time that he is losing to Matt. And remember, we are taking the average times here, so if Sawneyrath does come out ahead of Jexreffy here, he still needs to come out ahead by more than Matt comes out ahead of Darkrid to actually have his team win the race. And yeah, that's Aghanim down for Matt. He's just going to have a very quick Aghanim fight with Tempered Silvers. And this is a fight I know he is very comfortable with.
I would hope so, seeing how great he did with those other bosses today.
Yeah. I don't think he's set up for the one cycle here, but maybe. Okay, yeah, he is. I must have missed him get a slash at the start. And he's going to get the one cycle here, too. So, yeah, very clean fight in the first two phases for Matt, and I see no reason to believe that won't continue. Meanwhile, Sawneyrath's got all his pendants and crystals. He's just got to do Ganon's Tower, but he is gonna be getting there around the same time Jexreffy, or just after Jexreffy finishes Trinex, and will be en route to Hera himself.
There's Ganon down. The big pig. The boss hog, the top cop of Hyrule goes down. Matt7898 is going to be our first finisher out of these four.
Yep, so that's GG's for Matt. He finishes the time 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 53 seconds, which will be averaged with Jexreffy's time to determine who wins this race. But at this point, with Darkrid having to full clear the Ganon's Tower basement and losing a lot of time there, it's looking pretty favorable, I think.
Well, at least at this point, Darkrid's probably telling Sony to go full right.
Yeah, especially with Darkrid about to get the news that the big key is not in the vanilla room. And yeah, Sawneyrath is going. So actually, we could see, if both runners play clean, we could see Sawneyrath finish this seed before Darkrid.
Sonny is taking the tile room play, while Darkrid is going ahead and checking out the full right. That is a smart idea.
Yeah. Just
it has a 20% chance of working, but
I think it would be an even better play if Sawneyrath hadn't already full cleared the left side. But it's still not that bad because the key is on the right.
Just 20 rupees in that room.
And Jexreffy setting up his Harapot so that he can skip that climb. I'm not familiar with this setup enough to know whether he's on a good Pixels Forge or not.
It's kind of hard to see on these restreams, but he got it.
He got it, but Sawneyrath did not get the torches lit in time. He's got to redo this room.
Oh man, this is gross for Sawny.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with that. Like, why is that torch showing still lit? I think they're just... I don't even know.
This is really weird.
That torch glitched out hardcore, I guess. Yeah, I don't have an explanation for that besides that torch just glitching out in a really silly way. Jexreffy killed Moldorm. He'll be into Ganon's tower in just a few seconds.
Where's darkrid going? Oh, he's got to get magic.
He needs arrows too. He's on 0. Like,
oh no.
Like, yeah, you cannot kill mimics without arrows, and maybe he remembered a prize pack, or
he's going to go get him out of the Eastern.
I guess you can't dig for them without the shovel, but that feels really bad. You gotta drop, though.
That might unfortunately seal the deal.
Yeah, having to reclimb the mountain like that, that's probably a dagger if there ever was one. Especially because Jexreffy is going straight for his big key. And just as a... I don't know why that block's not pushing for him, but if Jexreffy finishes this race before darkrid does, then we don't even have to look at the times to know that Talking Heads win the race.
The power of math.
It's the power of not having to do the math ourselves. That Samaria block was in an unfortunate location for Jex too. There's Jexreffy with his big key. Sawneyrath in the basement. Or not in the basement, in the gauntlet. Words hard. And Sword Beam's not Sawneyrath's friends here.
Man, you really got to feel for SSD here today. They had some tough luck here at the Ganon's Tower between the weird torch despawn or weird torch texture bug, and then having to go find arrows. It's just unfortunate. You hate to see it.
Yeah, this is just... You really do hate to see it. But...
Oh, yeah, no, I know it. You hate to see it is used sarcastically a whole lot. I meant you actually hate it.
Like, I overuse that phrase sarcastically a ton, but I absolutely agree with you. This is really unfortunate. darkrid out of arrows again, but there are some in a pot here. So you can just grab those, line up his shots. He can only afford to miss once. And that's his one.
Oh.
He's through, though.
Just holding my breath there.
No arrows for the gauntlet, but he is through. Unfortunately, Jexreffy a few rooms ahead of him at this point, and yeah, I think the race at this point, with Matt's margin over everybody else, is pretty squarely in Talking Head score. And let's see, we've got Sawneyrath entering the pre-mold room 2 room at the same time that Jexreffy gets his very clean Silver Arrows Landmo kill. And darkrid is 3 rooms behind Jexreffy here. And darkrid trying for fire rod strats here. A fun fact is that the gold sword actually does the same damage as the rods to the land molas, so he's switching over to that to save his magic for some Aria room torch rooms.
Yeah, there's a little small magic pot under that dark top bottom right skull. And this room is actually a little bit easier to pull off, or the torch room is a little bit easier to pull off with a lamp, I feel like, but you're going to get a full refill directly after that.
Yeah, and good use of the boomerang there to grab that small magic pot, just ensure he's got it for the torches 1 room. And there's Sawneyrath putting Aghanim 2 down, about to drop into his Ganon fight. Jexreffy showing off the bonk strats on those torches. You love it.
It's so good.
That strat looks so clean.
It's really pretty simple. It's just you turn and bonk.
Yeah. Like I said, the only reason I don't go for it is just guts with the sparks. I've had very bad experiences with those in the past.
I think my white whale of those kind of glitches... Oh, Jack's taking a fall. My white whale with those kind of glitches is the bumper at the top of Hera. I know you can, like, pass through the top of it, and I've pulled it off, like, maybe 3 times.
Yeah. I think a lot of players have something like that. Sawneyrath getting a very nice setup for Phase 2 here. Just going to stand in the corner, get his spins in, and that's going to be that. Pulling out the cape for a little bit of safety, but he's through the second phase. And darkrid's got Moldorm 2 exploding. He is only 1 room behind now. Sawneyrath entering the last phase, stuns Ganon there, 1 arrow. Gonna trigger the torch glitch here. Oh, and that, if he'd gone for that, that would have been a very nice setup for a double. I don't think he could have gotten a triple out of it, but didn't go for it. Instead, just gonna lodge 2 and 3 here. And darkrid has Aghanim 2 down, waiting on the same cutscene that Jexreffy is in now. And Sawneyrath finishes the race, gets through his fanfare with a time of 1 hour, 42 minutes even. And here's Jexreffy set up, did not get the 1 cycle phase 1. And chat's going to learn in the endgame here why the gold sword does not save a significant amount of time on Ganon. All it does is it makes the 1-1 on the first 2 phases free, but darkrid's still going to lose more time to not having silvers than he saved on that one cycle.
Just a few more sword slashes or a few more silvers will put this into the ground for Jexreffy.
And that's going to be it. All he's got to do is stun Ganon, get those arrows in. Actually, darkrid is ahead of him on that score, but has to do silverless. And actually, silverless without a torch glitch.
And that's it for Jexreffy.
Yep, that's going to be GG's for Jexreffy. Actually, unfortunately, we are going to have to cut this broadcast off now with Jexreffy finishing with a time of 1 hour, 43 minutes, and 59 seconds. And we have a race coming up on this channel in less than 5 minutes. We've got Super Metroid multi-category tournament, Nintoaster versus French Lightning John. And with darkrid taking that death, we are unfortunately not going to be able to finish broadcasting this race before we cut over to that. So
we are running out of time, everybody. I'm Virtua Cat. I'm shown by Reg. We'll see you Thursday on Thunder.
Yep. And GG's to everybody involved, and we will see you guys over some other race.